Hi.
So nice to meet you.
It's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, happy to.
Um, so, who has had the biggest impact on you professionally?
The biggest impact on me professionally. Wow. That's a good question. That's a really good question. I mean, there's so many people who have had an impact on me and who have helped me along the way, but I would say if anyone, it was probably well, two people, my parents and that doesn't mean that they were necessarily supportive of me early on because they weren't, but they didn't want me to pursue a career in entertainment because they knew how difficult a life that would be for me. But I decided to, kind of go against their wishes and pursue it anyway. And I found that it was really difficult. And early on, it was just very hard to get work, very hard to get representation. And whenever I couldn't pay rent, they always let me move back home. They always supported me in other ways that allowed me to kind of keep doing this, even though it wasn't in their best wishes. So I would say I definitely wouldn't be where I am without them.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who has had the biggest impact on you as a person?
As a person, it's another really great question. As a person, I would say. Gosh, that's again, there's just so many people who have shaped me and I don't want to go back to my parents, but it's hard not to because they were there with me from my very beginning and definitely played a big part in who I am. But I will say there was a teacher. I had a teacher when I was in college at UCLA and when I was there at UCLA, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I had no clue. I knew that I liked to write and I liked creative things, but I didn't know what I was going to do. And there was one TA, her name was Allegra Shapiro, and she was in one of my English classes, and she told me, she said, You're really good at writing. You should think about writing and think about doing creative things because I can see it in the work you turn in. And I think that was really motivating for me to start thinking of myself as a creative person because I don't think before that I really considered myself a creative person, even though I was doing a lot of creative things. But to get that acknowledgement from a teacher was really pivotal for me. And I think after that, I started doing a lot more creative writing, and I started seeing myself as more of an artist and a creative person, and that really kind of changed how I saw myself. So I would credit Mrs. Shapiro.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. I love your glasses, by the way.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I love yours too.
Oh, thank you. Um, so what movie or show do you find yourself quoting more often than you'd like?
Gosh, I'm not a big quoter of movies or shows. I would say more music is where I'll like lift quotes out of. But I will say, gosh, I was obsessed with sitcoms growing up. So I loved sitcoms, and in my time there were shows like this show called Family Ties and Different Strokes and uh, Growing Pains, and there are all these like half-hour sitcoms that I just was obsessed with, and I would, because we didn't have the internet back then, I would have the schedule, TV schedule memorized in my head, and I would know exactly what was showing at what time every day of the week, and I think those shows really, I don't know, they definitely had a profound effect on me in terms of like, uh, uh, just like comedy and rhythms and I remember I used to be obsessed with the old shows too, like I Love Lucy and the Dick Van Dyke Show, and I would record the audio of those shows on a cassette recorder, and at night when I would be in bed I would just play back the shows, and I would hear the audience laughing, and I would just love that feeling, that energy of the live audience, and I think that really shaped me in a lot of ways, though I don't know if there are any direct quotes that I can think of. I'm sure there are a few that I'll throw out every now and then, but I wouldn't say that there's any specific quotes that I can think of right now. But those kinds of shows were definitely very influential for me.
Oh, wow, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like, I mean, my brain is just filled with show and movie quotes, just that I
Yeah.
repeat constantly.
What would you say is yours? The one that you th the one show or project or movie that you've gotten the most quotes out of.
I have three.
Okay.
There's the shows that I constantly quote are Will and Grace.
Oh yeah, that
Uh,
was a great one.
yeah, Friends.
Yes, of course, classic.
Yeah, and Psych.
Oh, Psych. Yeah, that was a great show. I
Yeah,
remember that. Okay. Yeah, no, no, those are great ones to take quotes from.
yeah, yeah. Um, so how do you keep yourself motivated even on days when you aren't fully feeling it?
Yeah. Wow, your questions are so good.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, and I don't get ask these kinds of questions. So they're really making me think. Well, I do a lot of things. There are times when I'm not feeling as energetic, or I'm feeling a little bit stuck in a rut, and there are times when work isn't coming in as much as I'd like. So I just have kind of this time to dwell on my misfortunes, but I always try to keep myself busy during those times, and not just busy in terms of like creative work like writing or making things, but also just I guess devoting time to myself, like time to meditate, time to exercise and run. I've taken up running a lot lately, so running has been a really big part of my life, and I find that those kinds of practices really they kind of center me, and they kind of allow me to kind of be in the moment as opposed to dwelling on, oh, what's going to happen in the future, or why haven't things worked out the way I wanted them to in the past? It just kind of keeps me focused on what's going on right now. And I feel like any kind of practice that keeps you just in the moment and present is really good for you to, it's really an important thing, at least for me, because an industry like this is so unpredictable, and there are a lot of times when, I think creative people in general find themselves in a rut every now and then, and to do things like that really make you kind of focus on the present moment, I think are really helpful. So I'll do a lot of those kinds of things.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Take walks too. I take a lot of walks, which I just love, and listen to music, and
yeah.
kind of those kinds of things, simple things.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so what song best describes your life right now?
Oh gosh, that's a really great question. Um, uh, that's a great question. There's so many songs.
Yeah.
Um, I would say one that I love and I don't know if necessarily the this is a song I've talked about recently only because it's fairly new and I'm gonna go to the concert soon is Kendrick Lamar has a song. It's called Dodger Blue. It's on his new album and it's very it's not necessarily like the subject matter of the song, although the subject matter is really focused on Los Angeles, which is where I was born and raised, and I currently live in. But I would say the mood of the song and the vibe of the song really kind of suits where I'm at. It's a very kind of mellow, just a beautiful, like beautiful music, and it's very calm and there's a warmth to the song, but it's very calm and it's very just a really nice groove. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now. I feel like very calm and present, and I feel like I'm riding a very nice a nice little wave right now, and it's very it's a nice peaceful time for me despite everything else that's going on in the world and so I would say that song, Dodger Blue.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. How about you? Is there a song that,
Oh, there's oh, there's so many.
yeah, yeah, it's really hard. It's a hard one to
Yeah.
answer because there's so many.
Yeah, there are. Right now there's a song that I mean, I've been obsessed with for a while, but one of my favorite movies is called Ezra, and there's
Yes.
yeah, an original song from it, which is
Oh, okay.
Ezra. I have stuck in my head pretty much every day, so
Yeah, I feel like songs from soundtracks really get into me, like
yeah,
especially if I love the movie because I kind of connect it to that feeling of that movie.
yeah,
So there's definitely a lot of soundtrack music that has and even scores, like original scores with the big orchestras, like
yeah.
of the older movies. Those a lot of those have really kind of stuck with me as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, there's so many movie soundtracks for me
Yeah.
too that, yeah, have stuck with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite movie soundtrack?
I think my favorite movie soundtrack. Gosh, again, there's so many. One that sticks out in my head is the soundtrack for the Royal Tenenbaums. I love that soundtrack. And I love the original music too for that movie. There's this composer. His name is Mark Mothersbaugh, I think. And he did a lot of the original music for that movie. And interestingly enough, he did all of the original music for this Netflix show that I just did called The Residents.
Yeah.
So when I found out he was the composer for The Residents, I was so excited because he's responsible for so many songs that have become a big part of my life. So yeah, I would say the Royal Tenenbaums is a big one for me.
Oh, that's so cool. I love
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
I loved The Residents. It was so
Oh,
good.
thank you. I'm so glad you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just have two more questions for you.
Okay.
What genre of movie would your life story be told as?
I think it would be a. I think it would be like like a Disney movie. Like kind of a silly comedic, but with some dramatic, moments, but light and fun. I don't know why I think this, but I'm just imagining my life as told through maybe even animated, you know. A lot of whimsy and a lot of fun and really great characters, some danger, some really difficult moments, but you know, you get through them and you end up in a happy place.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great
Yeah,
question.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, the one that spoke to me is I'm going to start living for today. I'm letting go of where I've been. I'm going to tell my people I love them when I can. It's time for me to believe in me. I'm going to step out of the shadows of my past and stand proudly as the person that I'm becoming.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
it,
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
Oh God, you know what? I actually keep I keep a notes document of quotes. Um and uh so I have it right here. And whenever like a quote, I read a quote that hits me, I'll put it down. I'll write it down on this document. And this is one that I really love. It's very simple and and clear. Where you spend your attention is where you spend your life. And that's it. Which I think is like so true. You know, it's like the things you focus on are really do make for the quality of your life. So if you're grateful and thankful and thinking about how amazing life is and how you're so lucky to be alive, number one, and you're so lucky to be able to walk and to be able to talk and to meet people like Maya and to have great conversations. Like if you think about how wonderful that is, then that's what your life is. It's wonderful, you know. And
Yeah.
if you're dwelling, if you're putting your attention on kind of the negative things, of which there will always be negative things, then that's what will define your life. So really, like where you put your attention is very important. And in a lot of ways, it's similar to your quote, you know, in the sense that I think both of them are about kind of being present and being and not dwelling on the past and being the person that you're becoming and seeing where you're at and how far you've come and if you focus on that then you'll continue to kind of grow and get better and better and more thankful and more alive. And I think that yeah, that's one quote that I think about a lot.
I love that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was my final question for you. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
so great meeting you, Maya.
you too. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't tell you how much this means to me to be talking with you.
Oh, same, same. And I hope we get to do it again one day.
Me too. I would love that. Thank
All right. Thank you, Maya. Have a good day.
you. You too.
All righty.
And that's a wrap on today's edition of the latest with Maya.